The medium is so interesting, so technical. It requires a lot of pre-planning, and I like that kind of thing. Also, physically, the paper is wonderful to touch. It has, when it's wet, it has a feeling of skin or hide. It's a very tactile surface to work with. Well, for me, it's a way of describing the type of work that I do, and that is I try to have often a heavily textured area or areas in my work. It gives again, it gives a tactile quality to the work. Unlike oil or acrylic, it's a very flat surface, so it's all an illusion of texture rather than actual three-dimensional texture. I think that the surface of the paper, when it has that texture, when it has that aggravated look, gives an air of, or it brings up the question of time, of a worn surface. And that implies that there's a narrative to go with the painting, and it also implies that there's a story to go with the painting. I like that type of worn look because of those reasons. I am trying to indicate, as I said, the passage of time, that something has happened that has removed the original look of something into something that shows the effects of the weather, for example, or of occurrences in daily life that gives the paintings and the surfaces the idea that things are not always perfect, and that things are evolving. There's an impermanence to existence, and those are the types of things that I want to do. I love the lines. I love making lines. I love making eroded lines, lines with a lot of texture. And those sometimes, when you're working on a watercolor, you have to work flat. Sometimes, when you look down on it, it gives the impression that you're looking down on a contour map, and that often brings to mind images of conflict sometimes. Yeah, but I don't want that to be strictly the thing that people will come away with from a work. I want it to be open to interpretation. I also want the sort of untouched areas, and I hope that I do leave enough of them to have areas where the eye will rest, and to have a calm surface interspersed with a more textured surface. Predominantly, I work in a very dark value, very close to black. I don't always consider it black. It's often a shade. There's often a blue tint to it, or a warmer brownish tint. I'm just drawn to that sort of juxtaposition between the darker value and the weight of the paper, in order to get sort of interaction between the two, because of the medium, because of watercolor. I can add water. I can then play with my edges. I can soften them. I can move some of the pigment into the white areas, and sort of create a more varied, a more complex surface and interaction between the dark and the white than with other media.